All right, everybody. I guess we are live again.
Part two of the morning session.
Part two of the morning session for the Business Accelerator Group. And again, and I don't think we can do this too many times, thank you, Mike Koenigs, for letting us use the You Everywhere Now studios today and trusting us.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
The more we were just talking about how grateful we are that you've allowed us to do that.
This is great, and he's providing not just the studio, but Brendan to help us out and letting us broadcast to the communities. It's a huge deal.
I told Brendan that I was going to fill out a good comment card for him.
Yeah.
Turn it into the little box that's out there.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Is there one out there we can do that too? Love it. So we're going to continue on with masterminding. In fact, what we're going to do is try to knock off some of the things on the white list now. And again, everything we do is about, especially when we're masterminding, it's about the interaction between all of us. Where is the orange microphone?
Right here.
So do you want to go to the whiteboard and share with this session let's
hit one of the let's hit one of these and see how we do with it.
Okay.
All right. So Jim Butts mentioned uniform branding, and his question was how he. In fact, here, give Jim the mic real quick. Jim, pose the question for us, and then let's talk it over as a group.
So one of the things that I was working on before was over the years, since I started in 2001, over the years, I had a website that started in 2001, and then I had Facebook pages, I had Facebook business pages, I had a YouTube page, I got a Kajabi page, I got all these different pages, but they didn't look alike. So just so I know, Andrew Lane, who's part of 22 Social, he's got his design hacker group.
Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, I've known Renee for a long time, and his design hacker group is great because they help do things, and he's got a whole ways of using templates. So it seemed to me that it might be easy, but then I asked myself the question: how important is it that everything looked the same? In corporate America, it was very special that it would. But I got myself to believe that if somebody went to one of my pages, they would know it was me just because of the way it was branded. And then how valuable is that?
All right. That's a great question. So who wants to throw in on that? How uniform should your branding be between your various websites, Facebook, all sorts of things?
I think it's a bigger question. Is your audience all the same?
Well, I'm going after a unique audience. I'm not going after differentiated audiences.
Because if your audience is the same on all of them, then it makes sense to brand it. But let's say you're going after a mom generation. You're not going to want a group of moms. You don't want that page to be branded or that site to be branded the same as construction workers.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm going after a specific group of people.
My answer to that is I want everything to have the same look and feel. I want to try to make sure that even the color schemes are as close together as I can get them, so that your experience, no matter what platform you go to, you have that same look and feel, you're comfortable with it, and it immediately resonates with you. You know it's Jim Butts.
Yeah, that's good. Kendra.
Along the same lines, are you assuming that somebody is going to come upon one of these? They might see multiple ones before they're making a decision, because then the cohesiveness is critical, because then they're learning and gaining trust from you, like, oh, I know what to expect when I come and see, Jim. It's going to be the same feel. Or are you testing different things in different ways to attract them so it's more so platform is great, and you decide which areas make sense for where you're where you're going to find people and where they are, and then uniformity if they're in multiple places as you're bringing them all in. I mean, I think.
I'll sort of try to get this for that. So.
And you can't literally throw that mic, so it's okay.
I know. One of the things I go back on is many years ago, as a consultant, I did a project with Hewlett Packard, and one of the things they did was they handed me about a 5-inch 3-ring binder, and they said, "This is our branding. Everything in the company, when you pick it up, if you see this scheme, that's our customer service. If you see this, it's our salesperson." I thought that was really interesting, and I didn't know whether or not, if I'm doing my own business, if I wanted to see somebody, I know that I'm going to talk to people, but then there might be other people that I want to attract. And if they see something and then they go look at something else, does it attract them? I don't know. I don't think it's going to take me any amount of time to do it.
Let me just talk about, I just recently had this experience about my branding being different with my licensee. So I have a dog training business that I've grown over the 30 years. The logo has been the same for the last probably 25 years. It's a red, white, and blue. It's got a dog jumping over the name Falco, and it says Canine Academy underneath. And that's I've tried to change it a couple of times. People have like, no, do not change your logo. They love the logo. So when I licensed out the pet dog side of my business to one of my trainers, for whatever reason, I don't know how it got confusing, but she ended up making a different logo that was similar but not the same logo. Also, some other things changed. We got a bad comment on Facebook. One of our ones that we got on Facebook was that people thought that they were coming to Falco Canine Academy and felt they were not necessarily duped, just that they felt like they were in a different company. What they learned through our YouTube videos, our Facebook Lives, and me speaking about what it is we do, they felt like somehow, just on the vision, not that they were really actually getting anything different, that it seemed different. And so it really was confusing for them to see something different in regard to our branding. So my experience is that we immediately changed it so that all the branding matched. And we'll see, over a period of time. This just recently happened, but I know that there have been people that have brought it up before, that the branding was different enough that it caused confusion, that they didn't know that they were in the same place. Mm-hmm. Now, this is kind of brick and mortar a little bit, but there also is a social media aspect to what we do. So we've switched it all over. Her logo is now our logo. It just says Orange County underneath it instead of anything else. That's the only added part to the logo. So I don't know if that helps or not, but that was a branding confusion.
I think Mike's, did you have more you wanted to say?
Well,
go ahead.
HP, because I came from corporate as well. There is value in doing that for yourself, because in your message, you just get very clear about your own message and the look and feel, like the things that matter to you when you are talking to people. Creating a brand and having like the logo, and here are the color tones that you're supposed to use, the whole style guide of everything is great to have if you outsource anything, because then there's consistency in what you're going to ask somebody else to do for you. I mean, so I think just that process will help you gain clarity and then make sure you have consistency moving forward.
Yeah, it's a great crutch. It is a great crutch, because then you don't find yourself going, well, what colors do I want to use here? Or what fonts do I want to use here? It is all there within that style guide. I think taking a look at Mike's businesses over the years might be a valuable way to discuss this. You think about early on, and so Jen, you were involved early on with Main Street Marketing Machines. Is that when you came in?
Yes.
Okay. And I think I came in at Author Expert Marketing Machines, and we've all come in different things. And you can recall that in those days, Mike's brand was branded around whatever that product brand was at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So if it happened to be like Main Street Marketing, right? I think it was a sign, like a street sign kind of thing, and that became the branding. And then it was Rocktoberfest, and and so the branding kept changing based upon the product. And I think that happened, right? I think he probably went to a product designer and said, hey, I'm creating this product, and created a cool looking design. They did, and then they made that design go. But also that was for a business that was largely built around launches, right? This launch, so everything is pointed to that launch, and now this one to this launch. But now if you notice, Mike's branding is very uniform, right? You Everywhere now appears everywhere, and it's in the black and orange. And now all of his product suite shares a similar look and feel, and usually there's just one color swap in it. So if you'll notice that the Consultant Profit logo is blue on Consult or something like that, instead of orange like it is on Publish and Profit. So that's how he's created a uniform brand, at least in those.
Yep. And not just the colors, but the font.
The shape, everything is.
Another company that does it really well, and not just because he's here, and I would have said it whether he's here or not, is 22 Social. Mm-hmm. You always know when you're on one of their pages or one of their webcasts or one of their live casts or whatever it is they're doing. That color scheme and the font.
It's like the purple,
orange, and what's the other one? It's an orange and bluish.
Andrew's fault, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an orange and blue, but I know that it's 22 Social just because of the way that it looks. I'm always there, and it can be trusted because I trust those guys.
Yeah.
And so that adds a lot to it.
Unfortunately, because we are live and going out to the community, this is going to sound like a shameless plug, and it's not meant
That's
to
okay.
be. Okay. On my website at Obvious Authority, I do have a web design boot camp, so anybody hits here that's interested in getting that, I've got obviously a complimentary copy for any of you that want it, but one of the modules speaks specifically to that, setting up your designs and the style sheet that you give to your website designer,
Terrific.
etc. So you guys all can have.
And so people
Everybody here in the group,
in the Business Accelerator group
that's present here, and that it couldn't be here today,
Okay.
but is it part of our group?
Yeah. So speaking of shameless plugs, that is one of the many, many benefits of being part of this group, right? Is that we share resources among each other. And we've seen it over and over. In our secret Facebook page, if you scroll through the last few years on that page and see all of the things people have shared in there, I love it. It was like when Facebook changed up their group header dimensions, I had to redo it for some of my groups. So it's like, let's just give it to the group. And here you are with the Style Guide product and share it to the group.
I did have one final thing with Jim also about the design, and that is, and I'm guilty of this too, although I'm getting much better about it, is try to limit the number of portals that you have out there that people are coming to, so they don't get confused about where to find you. Try to simplify
URL
that.
confusion too.
Yes, I'm part of that. And so try to simplify the number of portals, but link to all the portals from that focus point.
Yeah. And Bruce. Bruce from Bruce Designs.
So my comment, one is the general branding comment on logos, is that just about the time you are sick of your logo is when your audience has finally figured out your logo.
Oh, that's good.
So remember, that's very powerful in terms of we get sick of our stuff way faster than our audience doesn't even know that we exist. So that's just, I'll put that as just out there.
That was really good.
That's a huge takeaway right there.
All right, does that make sense to people?
Yes.
I'm tired of this, I'm bored with it. They're just learning about you. So the second thing I would say is consistent thing is think of this in terms of I always talk about this stuff as the base elements. What are the base things that make up your brand? So the font's a base element, the color's a base element, the graphics. There are certain things that are very far down that you need to share with other people. So that's where the style guide comes in. Don't get fancy. I know you guys use the fancier fonts, but it can get to be a real problem if you have to spread. You just have to spread out, and you're giving your stuff out to lots of people. They can't get those fonts.
Google Fonts.
Google Fonts. One of the things to remember about fonts is fonts are not copyrightable. Anybody can take a font and make another version of it and call it a different name. So that's why you see so many fonts, because you can't copyright a font. So that's one thing, is think of what are those base elements. So the fonts are your base elements. The PMS guides, the Pantone matching system, use those numbers, because that's a universal system worldwide, the PMS numbers. Are you familiar with PMS numbers? So that's a universal, everybody can do that. And then, so make those things as the consistent element in your style guide. And then I would say vary by color a little bit, as you do your different companies, but the base elements stay the same. Font stayed the same. The basic logos, so here's a good example of your logo, our new logo. Think of your logo, let's say you're going to have 5 different companies. We could remove the word group and put something else in there. So this is a very adaptable logo for a multitude of companies. We haven't changed Business Accelerator, we've changed that bottom element. So when you're designing your logo, don't design in things that you can't easily change if you're going to do sort of what Jim's talking about. So that's something to, we can't change Accelerator on this.
Hey, Brendan, can you go to our logo really fast on the screen?
It is.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Now it is.
Now
Now
it
it
is.
is.
It's on the screen.
So-
Working it.
So that's the logo you're talking about, Bruce.
Yeah,
When
I'm
you
talking
talk
about this logo. So we can change we can't change accelerator because it's built into the graphic, but we can change group. So it could be group, it could be design division, it could be publishing, it could be retreat, it could be mastermind. It doesn't change this look at all.
Health accelerator group, right?
So it's something
It
to
could
think
be
about.
Andy's group.
Yeah.
Could be.
So that's what I'm talking about, is that the top of this logo is a base element. The bottom of this logo is the changeable element.
Changeable, swappable.
Your fonts.
So I wanted to bring up something. You talked about using Pantone colors. And when we talk about colors in general, one thing important, and I have failed at this myself, when we're doing cover contests, or we're working with an artist or something like that, you know, we think it might be good enough that the artist understands that this book is going to be used in print, but I think we need to sometimes be really specific. And I say that because one of our clients recently gave us her logo, and she wanted it to be utilized on her book cover. And guess what? That was a color that looked great on screen and could not be reproduced in print. And if you're in Photoshop, it would give this little warning sign, and we were like, well, what is that sign? And you go look at that sign, and that sign said out of gamut, right? I think is the thing.
The best example is Ingram and CreateSpace. So, and in my group, so many people are starting to switch. So, Ingram, if we're just doing the books we're doing, CreateSpace, we're doing the books we're doing, but if we want to be in bookstores or hardcover, we have to go to Ingram. CreateSpace is an RGB company. CreateSpace is a CMYK process color company. All the graphics have to be different. Now, CreateSpace can accept both CMYK and RGB.
Yeah, see, we always upload CMYK to CreateSpace.
Right. But that gives you the flexibility to go to Ingram. But if you did all your books, which you could do in CreateSpace and never even think about this, you just do them off the screen graphics. They're all RGB. You can't use the money, and they'll kick it back.
Yeah, so let me, just for those who don't speak CMYK RGB, let me,
deep in the weeds.
yeah, no, it's super important. It's super important that we understand, that people understand this. So the two most common color combinations we use are RGB, which is red, green, and blue, being used, those three colors being used to create a color.
That's the screen. What you see in front of us.
Yeah, okay, yes, and so like for instance, all the web pages we see, everything like that, we're seeing it in combinations of red, green, and blue. But CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. The K stands for black, which always confused the crud out of me. You couldn't use B, right? Why wasn't it CMYB? Anyway, is what will be used in print. And so that is the color combination being created in a different way. So whenever you're submitting anything to a printer, they will always ask for it in CMYK, and yet digitally, like a Kindle cover is in RGB. And by the way, some of the time, if you're in your software and you tell it to convert over to from CMYK to RGB, some of the time it will look exactly right, and some of the times those colors will not translate properly.
And the reason is, it's going the other way. The reason is that you're adding the black. So you take an RGB color. So all the graphics.
So it's going the other way, RGB to CMYK.
CMYK. So
right.
you have to go to CMYK, you have to add the black in. So when you add black in, it dulls everything down. So that's why graphics, when we look at Shutterstock or anybody, the graphics are so bright and vibrant because there's no black in there. There's no black on that screen. So you're adding the black and it dulls everything. It doesn't always happen, but it can, and they've gotten better at balancing those colors.
So that also means if you are having an artist do something, have them start in CMYK, right? Have them do it in CMYK. Yeah.
I was just going to add one thing, and that was
because you've done all this product design with bottling and stuff too, right?
Right. So, well, where I was going to go is if you're bringing people in from different places, or they know you from one place and you invite them to something else, it lets them know they're in the right place.
Yeah.
And that's key, because otherwise they get confused. If they're going to something different, they see something different, they're not certain they're in the right spot. So,
and I think that applies, to hair, right? Literally. So if you look at Brendan Burchard's brand over the last 10 years, it's been pretty uniform, right? He uses a lot of white, he uses black, he uses simple lettering. His hair is always cut short. He's always in, wearing a suit like only a skinny man can, and but he always has a certain look. Whereas if you're a guy that likes to go from clean shaven to a beard and back and forth, or you're a gal who likes to change that up a lot, I think that's harder on your branding.
Yesterday, the masters of marketing, Pam Hendrickson and Mike Koenig, were having this discussion about Pam's hairstyle. And then she had those eyelashes on the other day, and they said, that may throw people off as to who that is, because they're so used to seeing her a certain way that they literally had a discussion about who she is, what her appearance looks like, and to make sure that they didn't cause confusion by doing something with her style that made her look not what people are used to seeing Pam look like. Yep. Yeah, so that was a big discussion yesterday.
Just to throw a comment on the packaging side, because we did a lot of packaging in the distilled spirits world, and from brand to brand, without naming brands. Those elements, all these elements that we're talking about, were all incorporated into it to make so that people recognize the brand. Even if it was a flavor change or some other design change or something else, a lot of the consistent elements are applied across the board so that their customers recognize the brand. So it's a big consideration.
I think we come back to those two important words: relationship and trust. And you build that with people feeling comfortable where they're at. That relation's been built, that trust has been built, that you are who you are, and they've not strayed off to something else. And it could just throw that trust off a little bit.
Well, and 85% of people shop by color. That's a huge statistic.
Wow.
You think about the grocery stores, right? I mean, how many of you go in and you're shopping just in your head, you're going, you're not looking for Heinz, you're looking for red. You know what I mean? It's very interesting. And in fact, in the grocery store world, because I actually did some marketing at one small point in my life with this, but red is appetizing, yellow is this will make you happy, green is this is natural and healthy, and so it's very deliberate. If you think that then that doesn't carry over into other aspects,
what's gray? Oh, gray is 59 and old, huh? I'm sorry.
So funny.
Yeah, but it's going to carry over. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone shops in the grocery store at some point for that kind of thing. Not everyone may be, online looking at logos, but so it's.
While you're tossing that somewhere, it reminds me of going to Blockbuster, and I would get movies based on how the covers looked. And if they looked old and dingy, it looked like a B movie, I wouldn't rent it. But if it was a really nice, sharp graphic, and it looked exciting, but the movie stunk, I still rented it. I had no idea, but the packaging was fantastic. But the look of that was so good.
You might have to say what Blockbuster was.
Yeah, I know. I thought about that for a second.
So one of the things I could maybe get this cleared up now, because it's something that I was doing in the past. When Andrew gave me numbers, he didn't give me RGB and CYMK. He gave me Pantone colors. And I think that if you go into Pantone, it'll tell you what the RGB and CYMK is. So I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
By the way, when I was 12 years old and got taken to the racetrack, I bet on horses based upon the jockey's colors, and I won 9 out of 12 races, and I walked away with a boatload of money and thought that was my next career.
And then what happened the next time?
I lost everything.
Dang! I thought we had a ringer here.
And the Andrew he's talking about is Andrew Lane with
Andrew Lane.
22 Social and Design Hackers, right? Design Hackers.
Designhackers.club, I think.
Designhackers.club.
Or designhacker.club. He's better have both.
I just posted the link for everybody in the group.
Awesome. Thank you. Fantastic. All right.
Has anyone read the book 22? What was it called? 22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
Yeah.
That's one of the original ones. That's really good. I call it the cover looks like the Tide detergent, and understanding understanding some things that don't change. It's a beautiful book. It's really old.
What's the name?
22 and it's got 22 in it. Oh crap! It wasn't by these.
You're familiar with the Tide experiment, right? The Tide detergent?
No, tell us.
Tide detergent is one.
Give him the mic.
Tide detergent is one of the significant product design changes in all of marketing. Is they just have kind of a here we go product, we make soap, blah blah blah, nothing. They changed their box to this color. It became the orange, and that exploded off the shelf. And they haven't changed it since. But if you walk to the grocery stores, you'll see the Tide is in this orange color, and that was done that can radically change product design and brought in all the color things and all that kind of stuff. But they were the first to really to have nailed that down.
Can you hand that to Renee? Renee, what's the name 22 Social? Why 22 Social?
Okay.
Yeah, what's 22?
I'm going to credit Andrew because he deserves the credit. We had a lot of candidates and that had everything available, right? You got to check to make sure everything's available. And 22 Social, Andrew had the vision of, there's a lot of pictures doing this, a lot of people doing this. I'm holding the peace sign twice. I could probably just grab a photo of some celebrity and say, hey, they're down with 22 Social, right? That was his thing. And the domain was available. We bought 22S for a lot of some money, I'm going to say. And what we said, we got to look at what 22 means. Because what if it means something really, really weird? No. And I learned that in numerology, something I never really followed before, 11 is a dreamer. Okay, 22 brings dreams into reality. For their dreams into reality. 33 helps other people with their dreams. So 22 Social, sold. Right. Yeah.
So what brings me to my question is that I've never known until now what 22 Social was. Have you found that it having a name with it kind of what is, I don't even know what that means. Does that help, hurt? Was it something that you didn't think about when you first got it?
You know what? I don't like the names that are obvious what they are. I don't like business.com or whatever, or entrepreneur.com. I don't like
business
it
accelerator
because it's hard to differentiate. No, the accelerator is a little different, but it's hard to differentiate and define something. Like when there's some word that already has a definition, it's hard to change its meaning. If you don't want to change its meaning, it's fine. But if you want to create a new word, like Xerox did in the 70s, right? Xerox became copy, like Google did with searching. You can't redefine a word that's so ingrained to society. You can't change it. So that's why we didn't nail it, but that's how I feel that. And also a symbol. Andrew did a good job with a symbol. A symbol has to be recognized a mile away, like the Nike swoosh. If it's not going to get stored in their brain. So if you don't want to grow big, it doesn't matter. I guess if you want to keep it intimate, but it has to be recognized. It has to be work in black and white in any color. And anyway, I gotta stop.
That was good. It's really awesome.
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
But read that book though.
22 Immutable Laws of Branding.
Yes.
Wow, you're the best. You're good. Because none of them could say it.
Steve's looking at it. Steve, you have it right on the. There was it. You had it right there. What's the author?
Somebody.
The author is L. Rees, R-I-E-S, and Laura Rees.
Post a link to it into the Facebook group.
And use my affiliate link with Amazon.
No one buys that book anymore, but it's the best one I've heard to really, really understand branding. And
it sounds great. It sounds like
suddenly it's going to be a bestseller.
Yeah, it's like people just like right now. Let's all buy it together. See if we can make it happen.
It sounds like mandatory reading.
I was like, what happened?
Did we get 8 more people talking?
I know that was loud, huh?
Sorry.
All right. So very good. So I appreciate the discussion on uniformity of branding. Hopefully Jim found it useful as well, since he's the one who posed the question. But
he just left. He passed out with all the information.
No, he's implementing. He's on the phone to his designer right now, saying, "Okay, here's what we're going to do." So I love that. So let's talk about. Jen.
There's a question in the group from Susan Ordona.
Yeah.
I can't remember how to say her last name. Susan, how's it going? Ordona, I think you say it.
Yep.
When is the next mastermind and where is it?
Okay, so that's something we're not going to discuss on air.
Okay.
If anyone's interested, they can message me privately over that. Or Andy.
Yes, it's a fantastic location. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, so we have the date, we have the location, and everybody here is going to learn it today, but we're not going to broadcast that part live. So.
I don't know that people understand, at least in our group, how difficult it is to pick a location.
Oh my gosh. We've spent the last 6 months trying to.
It is not easy.
Verlinda, just so you know, Verlinda does all the heavy lifting when it comes to location selection and planning and all of that. She's not just a pretty face, and coffee and tea. Yeah, she's also doing all the hospitality today too. Yep. So yeah, we were going to go to Key West, and then a hurricane changed our mind, and anyway, so we'll go down that road a little bit further later.
That's going to be fantastic. And Susan, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, and by the way, I think just also for clarity's sake, anybody who's watching this, the Business Accelerator Group is not Mike and Ed's mastermind group that that they nurture and promote and go to different places. These are separate things, and our group is made primarily for those people who are certified consultants within the You Everywhere Now community, though we do have people who don't fit that exactly but still fit well in the group. So just so we real clear on the distinction, this is the Business Accelerator group, not the Koenig's Mastermind group.
Yeah, we were trying not to use Mastermind for a very long period of time and just keep it as the Business Accelerator group. Yeah. But it really is just a Mastermind group. It's just different than what Mike and Ed do.
Yeah, yeah, and Mike is so gracious to help make all this happen together because it helps to help serve his community and support his community. So let's take a look at this one. How about let's talk about retention in a mastermind group. So first, Bruce, you posed the question, right, about retention in a mastermind group. But before we go down that road, I want to ask, how many people either run a mastermind group or are planning to run a mastermind group as part of their brand?
Or a membership site?
I think a lot of the principles for a mastermind group and retention in a membership site are related, but not synonymous necessarily.
So which are you asking?
Mastermind group. That's what Bruce, that was the question Bruce posed.
Membership.
Oh, you meant membership site.
Yeah.
I'll take all that. Rewind.
So forget that. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about retention in a membership site then. That's what, all right. How many of us, by show of hands, run some sort of membership site, free, paid, otherwise? Okay. Yeah, you do.
You still have your mic on?
So,
you want me to?
Yeah, I think you'd be great on this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I can get it on.
Thank you.
On camera too. Go.
Yeah, make sure it's on there.
It's turned on.
You tell me. You're the tech guy.
Yeah, it's on.
I don't know tech.
It's on. So what I love, Renee, about 22 Social is that you found a way to meld the whole lead capture and that type of thing within Facebook, as well as with membership sites or membership groups and products. And how many people here use 22 Social in one way or another? I know I do. Okay. All right. Fair number. Yeah. It's I mean, one of the many things I love about it is a low barrier of entry.
Yes.
Right. You did not make it a fortune to get involved with. It's not like buying another Infusionsoft.
Right. So our bank account is not as big as it should be.
Well, I don't know, but look how many members you have. Right.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Yeah. So actually, I'm gonna have you stand in the middle.
All right. I'm the sandwich.
So let's talk about that retention. What do you do to retain members?
Okay, you're talking about, give me an example. I need a person.
Any of your membership sites.
Our membership sites. Yeah. You know what's funny? Some things just happen by accident. But I think retention to me happens when someone tells you, you know what, I don't care how much you screw up, I'm never leaving you. You want to hear that.
How do you get to that point?
Thank you. That's the hard part.
Yeah. How'd you get there?
I think we were almost forced to do this. We were back in 2012. A partner we had told us, you know what, I'm going to get you 10,000 users tomorrow. So if you launch today, you'll have it. So we put no intellectual capacity towards how do we market this thing. So day one we launched and we got not 10,000 users, probably 2 or something like that.
And you didn't mean 2,000.
No,
you meant 2.
I meant 2. And then it was probably, we eventually called enough friends and got about 100, I think. And then we realized, holy crap, we got to do something. And obviously we bought him out, he's gone. I'm not going to say why. But we started going live. It wasn't consistent. I think it was Tuesdays because it's Tuesdays. I don't know, for some reason. We picked that day of the week. And we started.
Tuesdays. I like it. Yeah, I get it.
And every time it's 22, the day of the month, and the last Tuesday, we get excited. But anyway. And we started being consistent in showing up. And the first ones we did, honestly, Andy, I was hoping nobody would watch. Please. And then I told Andrew once, like, I don't think anybody would watch.
Why is that? Is that just because you were worried about what you were delivering?
Yes,
you felt nervous about the experience, that type of thing?
I'm a nerd. You think I was confident?
In fact, you're I mean, you're a programmer, right? That's one
of my personalities. Yeah.
So
programmers are not known for their social skills.
No.
Were you doing FAQs? Were you doing case studies? Were you just rambling on?
Anything we could think of. We had no actual real strategy. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. I don't advise you that you do that, but we really didn't know what the heck we were doing. We were not an information company. We were not teaching. We were a freaking software company. What the heck do we know about going live and having a personality of any kind? So we started, it's funny, people stuck around. After like a few weeks, quickly, even if it was 10, 15 people stuck around for 3, 4, 5 hours. And we're like, if the counter doesn't drop, we're going to keep going. And they got to 4 or longer. Then we realized, okay, that's probably not good. But because we want to grow the number of viewers, not the number of hours we're on live. But we started being consistent. People started saying, you know what, you guys are real. We know who you are. And that's rare in software, actually. So that was our benefit. We don't know who the founder of AWeber is or whatever other company. I don't know. I don't know if the community leader is. Who is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Never. So it just kind of happened. And what else were we going to do? That was like a last option. All right, let's go live and just tell the world who we are, even if the world is 10 people. And that got bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, some people heard of us and started driving traffic. And I'm like, holy crap, this person's referring a lot. Who's that? And we started contacting influencers that way. And that's how we came up. And then we had growing pains.
Which is how you got in touch with our group, right? You reached out to Andy because he's such a big influencer, right?
No,
Jim introduced me to...
Jim is the man over there.
Yeah. Jim's the influencer.
Yeah.
We all know that.
I was trying to build Andy up because he always knocks me down, but I always build him up. So.
It was Andy.
You're right, no, it was Jim.
So I'll just give you my case. My case
Go for
I
it.
think is similar to I was going to say. So I developed a bunch of courses to have in my different courses. I made a membership site, and as a benefit for joining the membership site, you get access to all those courses. So that's sort of the free content. And then the goal was to try to figure out how now to keep people, because just making courses is like tedious. So I guess one thought I'm just getting from you and others is that this consistent broadcast where you just either talk about your courses, talk about life, talk about problems, or
people like that.
And I think interview a success story.
And interview a success story.
I think get some hero from your community and just really lift them up. And because then you've got, it's interesting, people are watching, are learning, and of course they want to be in that seat.
Do you
too.
think the content matters? I mean, the content, like this extra content you give away, like here you can have all my courses for free. Does that matter, or is it more this interaction?
No, it wasn't. I mean, for us,
You had nothing to
obviously
give
buy
away.
the software, right? That was our tripwire, right? And or I think at one point in time was get it for $2 trial. So whoop-de-doo, we made $2 again. Like, it was exciting. So, but I think I had a thought there. Sorry. I think the fact that people know that, hey, we're not going anywhere. And that was big for us. We're not another launch of a software that you're going to buy a lifetime. Every time I heard, buy a lifetime account, oh crap, stay away from that. Because I know they don't plan to be around, that's why they're selling lifetime accounts. So we wanted to make sure people knew that we were not an info marketer who made software, who had a launch, who did not want to actually maintain it or improve it, and was just going to flee.
So you're not selling it through AppZoo and
what is it called? Yeah, one of those. Yeah.
JVZoo.
No.
JVZoo.
Or one of the other animals.
One thing that you talked about before, I forgot I had to write it down, is that one thing I've changed with the dog training Facebook Lives that I do is I used to cover like 3 or 4 topics in one broadcast. If you've gone on them lately, you'll notice that I only do one topic. Whatever the title is what I talk about. Because you've been around long enough, that my title often had nothing to do with what I ended up talking about. Because somebody write in the comment, well, how do I get my dog to stop urinating on my son? And then I would go on that for an hour.
Move your son.
Yeah. And so I've learned that my title and my description has to be what I talk about, and I have to stay on topic as best as I can, which is not that easy. And I always come back to the topic, at least I try to now, and it seems like my viewership has gone up a lot more, especially the replays. The replays are up to 2,000 views on the replays.
So, how long did it take you to get sort of from the 2 viewers to
I'm going to say, but I think it was the beginning of 2013, might have been, I don't know. Actually 2012 was when we had 2 viewers. I mean, the other, we got probably to a few hundred, and that just kind of, we had friends, okay? So they bought, and my mom probably bought an account, I don't know. But, so probably when the growth really happened and we started going live, maybe, I want to say February of 2013. By May, we had probably 30 or 40,000 trial users.
Wow.
So we had growing pains, though. We went through a lot of growth, and I panicked. I'm like, holy crap, I'm not ready for this. So it hurt, actually, more than it helped. But it was a learning experience. How do you handle
customer service?
Thank you.
Kind of
you see pain?
Wow.
Customer service became...
Well, especially because your product's not hard to use, but it's
not...
matter. but it's not I could just see a real easy path to use.
And we're working on improving that. But yeah, you're right. It was customer service headaches. It was like some of us would take turns. All right, you're doing it now, I'm doing it now. Who gets the hot coal, right, today?
Yeah,
kind of thing. It was interesting.
That's why I would message Renee personally and say, "Hey, I got a tech question. How do I get into things?" Where I go, "I am not the tech guy." What, do you call Stephen Jobs? You know, when he was alive, to fix my iPhone? No,
you would have.
I would have.
Well, people sometimes, and I want to address this. Yeah. This is something I struggle with. They'll message me thinking I'm the quick answer, and I'm not. And I want to be, but I'm not. I mean, okay. At the end of the day, maybe make sure I get through my messages. I already solved it. Okay, well, good.
Yeah,
that's so.
One other thing, on another show that I was on, the question was asked of me: "Is content king?" And I said, "Yeah, content's king." And he goes, "No, the content is not king. It's the content creator who's king." So their content is who you are and who you're presenting and who you're acting as the expert. That's the important part, because you'd be talking about really important stuff, but if you're not, somebody that people can trust and respect and build a relationship with you can't do that, they're never going to stay on anyway.
Yeah, so I was going to add authenticity of you showing up and being real has been huge for Lars in terms of real estate coaching. He's giving them the true behind the scenes. This is what worked and didn't work. Let me save you time. So they trust him. The Facebook community now has become its own monster, good. I mean, for us, it's been good, where they start to answer each other's questions. So it's invaluable for them to want to stay in that and simplify. Like Lars loves to overcomplicate. I mean, he's got so much information. It's like, how do we pare it down? Is getting as simple as possible when we do our weekly calls. Is one topic, stay on it. Don't don't make them feel overwhelmed.
And then when you're done with the topic, just leave. You're done.
Yep.
I mean, don't feel you have to be on for an hour or how it could be.
So,
15 minutes.
So for the benefit of people who out there who didn't hear that on the mic, he's saying, so when the topic is done, be done. Yep. Right? And don't go on forever and ever and ever, which obviously makes your things shorter, which then, I mean, if you guys are jumping on a replay of a video and the first thing you see is it's an hour and a half long, right? You go, how bad do I really want this? And whereas if it's like 10 minutes long, I'm going to get my question answered. And you said that Facebook really is pushing towards 3 minutes.
I'm suspecting that. I'm not. I can't prove it.
You can't back it up, huh?
But I can see what's growing. I obviously want to get a watch page, and everything I see is short. NPR has a segment. TED Talk has a segment. A few. What?
Tom Brady has a segment.
Yes, I don't know if Vaynerchuk does or not. Maybe, I don't know. But anyway, so they tend to be short, like an episode, which is weird because if you watch Netflix, they're 30 to 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, they're still formatted to TV length.
Right. So I don't know where it's going to go. I just want my watch page.
But I got to tell you, if I get on Netflix and I start to watch something, and if it's over in 10 minutes, I'm frustrated.
Yeah, what's next?
Because I thought I just found something I could settle down and watch and learn from or enjoy or whatever. But that's not the same on YouTube.
No, but YouTube has the discovery. Like if you you look up a video about, I don't know, how finances work, you end up watching who knows what, right?
Right.
So with Facebook, they do have, like they'll feature the next one, and they do try to do that. What I found is I want more from that same person, not someone that looks like that. I want more of that, and they don't do it.
Not someone
much.
that Facebook's going to suggest because they're getting paid to.
Or, well, you'll see an ad, but that's a different story.
And just real quick, those of you that are thinking about doing Facebook Lives, don't get caught up in the numbers early on.
No.
You really got to just be happy that one person is watching and one person is watching, because it's going to stay that way for a very long time, and then all of a sudden you'll begin to see the numbers grow. It didn't happen for our dog training thing for probably a year, so that's about how long. It was always right around 10 people, 2 people, 15, and then all of a sudden it's grown. I have about 300 people or so that watch live.
Wow.
It's hard. Plus, it's hard. Think about it. You got to find the person at the right time, right? That they can actually take time aside and watch it. It's not that they don't want to or they don't care. You got to hit it right on the nail. So if you're watching 10 people live, there's probably 90 people who wanted to watch live, but they're working or doing whatever.
The last part about it is that the live audience is important only really for the engagement, that you can have questions from those people. So you don't need 1,000 people watching. You just need enough people commenting and you're interacting with, and because then the replays will be even bigger. So the replays are just as important.
I was going to say something.
So continuing on the membership retention question.
What were we talking to get into?
See how easy it is?
Go ahead, Tim.
So the story I really like is Gary Vaynerchuk. So when Gary Vaynerchuk started out, he did a wine show, 1 hour a day, every day for 2 years. Every show that he did, he assumed 10,000 people were watching, and that's the show that he put on. He had no idea anybody was watching until somebody from Conan O'Brien called and said, "We'd like to have you on the show." And he said, "Why?" "Well, because you're a wine expert." But from his perspective, he was the authority. He put on the show that he wanted to put on, and that was the basis for him getting started.
Yeah, he was in the learn phase. Did it well.
Learning out loud.
Yes.
Which is a great phrase.
Presentation is so good.
I'm not trying to, man.
I just want to know with the Facebook Lives for whoever else is doing them, do they, with every single person, come on afterwards and say, "Oh, you did just great, and we want you to boost it because this is one of your best posts ever"? Is that
Are you talking about Facebook?
par for the course? Facebook Live, Facebook.
It probably is your best post.
What?
It probably is your best post. Think about it. How many things?
No, but they tell me this every time.
she does
Well,
a
I do
Facebook
have
Live.
people who come on regularly, and sometimes a lot more watch on the replay. But I get the engagement with even like 10 people,
It's called
and they ask a
suggested
lot of
selling.
questions.
It's would you like fries with that?
Yes.
That's what it is. But right. So coming back to the original topic here, Bruce, how many members do you have in your free Facebook group now?
3,300.
3,300 members.
Free. The problem is how to deal with it to get them into the pay.
Into
my
into the
closed
paid
group that goes with my membership site. There's probably 40 people.
Are you giving them too much on the free group?
Yes. Yes.
And Bruce has always been very generous with that. And but Bruce is one of the big implementers, and he just said, I'm going to start this Facebook group called How to Publish a Book, and then we just watched it go, without any marketing of it. It was just, and it's grown and grown and grown.
For to move.
I do, but the problem is the Facebook open groups, you can do Facebook Lives and you can share it. Facebook closed groups, you can't share it. So I started the support group to go with the membership site. So there's no way to grow that closed group because you can't
I'll help
share.
you with that.
What are you giving
the
them?
technicalities of it?
What are you giving them in the paid group that you're not giving them in the free group?
Access to all the courses that I have. So I have 9 courses now. So they have access to all of that content.
So somehow in your free stuff, you need to make that sound way more important. Maybe you're just not telling them why they need to be in the next one in a way that they're really willing to take action. That
You got to plug yourself off.
There's got to be something in it for them to actually do it.
But it almost seems answering questions seems to be a way more important benefit than courses. People know.
Yes. They don't want to feel alone.
Yeah.
Paying you because you're going to keep
Hold on.
Right.
All right, Jen.
I just had a comment and suggestion for you. So all this Facebook Live talk and membership sites, all of this integrates with either the the 22 Social or a ClickFunnels, either one or both. So I think really just having those Facebook Lives and answering those questions and letting people know, similar to what you saw all day yesterday, just so you think of that. You're packaging all your stuff together for one low price of, which normally you charge this per thing. So you're telling them over and over, and you're not doing shameless plugs all the time. You're answering their questions. You're giving them value. All of these Facebook Lives are value for the free, for the people who are in the free, because they already know, like, and trust you. They're in your group. And now it's just a matter of letting them know your offer, telling them your offer, repeating that offer every Facebook Live you do, whether it's at the end or the beginning or both, but not constantly, forcing it on them, but just letting them know, hey, I've had this stuff that's free stuff. I also have this stuff for those of you who want to join my exclusive membership, letting them know that it's, very elite, it's very exclusive, and normally you charge this much per course, and now we're bundling them all together. So putting that in there and then having that link that goes to the landing page to capture all their stuff, to get their membership, to get their money, to get everything that you need for the membership site that you probably already have set up, right?
And then one other thing is to make sure on your free broadcast that you only feature people that come out of your paid group.
Of course.
And so you're going to say, and so they can say, wow, it's been so great being in the paid group. So they're endorsing you and giving you testimonials.
Renee, do you think monthly membership is worth it, or just a single price to just get money?
Dude,
I know. Just looking at the numbers, the monthly membership is definitely.
Let's get you started on that topic, Renee.
Yeah.
So the question is monthly membership or a one-time membership or some hybrid. Like
it really, I mean, if you want to be real, it depends on what you're offering. If what you're offering requires some support and updates and things change often, it most definitely needs to be an ongoing thing. And you can charge a one-time per year thing, so it feels like a one-time, so you could think of it that way if you're uncomfortable with it. But think about it. Do you really want to start from fresh every single month going, oh, I sold 100 courses this month. Oh, I haven't sold any this month. I'm fast and what's that word? Fast or famine? You don't want to be in that situation.
Feast or famine.
Feast or famine, thank you. So not only that, so it's not just for you, it's also for the group. Okay, if you haven't read this book called The Pendulum by Michael Drew, I think, you need to read it, okay? Or at least get the slides. He proves his point really, really well, but I believe him, so just get the summary and buy the book if you like it.
What's his last name?
Drew, I think. It's The Pendulum. He also has a TED Talk. Look for The Pendulum TED Talk, and that summarizes it. Anyway, what I'm going to that
post that into the Facebook group.
Yeah, and where I'm getting to that is I'm loving this time in life right now because we're in the we phase. The reason why social networking never picked up in the 90s, I had America Online. Who had America Online? Right? Or Prodigy and all that stuff. Why did it not become mainstream? Society wasn't ready for it. The technology was there. Right? Maybe we weren't going to have live video and all that because the internet sucked, but or speeds did, but society wasn't ready for it. Now we're all about community. It's not because Facebook made groups. There was Yahoo groups, there was Friendster, all that. It's because we were ready. The timing was perfect. So we were more willing to connect. People are hungry for connection. You're here for a reason, right? So if you can create that and enable people to connect better, I think, Jim, when you met me, around the time you met me, I had a talk on tribes. Remember that? Yeah. Yeah, at one event. So I was big on that, and I still am. But if you don't create that, people are going to go. People want to belong, and more so now. And not only that, they actually want to belong and follow somebody that's like them. They don't want to follow the Wizard of Oz. And if you notice what's happening with the big authors, they're coming down from their hill. If you notice what's happening with the guy from Tipping Point, what's his name? Glasgow. Have you seen his stuff?
Yeah.
He's I'm opening this program, and I'm like, he's coming down from the mountain because no one's watching the mountaintop anymore. They want the leaders to hang out with them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he's doing that. Even Vaynerchuk's starting to do more of that.
Hyatt's doing that.
You see that with celebrities too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I noticed when I built. That was the philosophy of building my group. Was I noticed all the big names built groups and never showed up. And so my idea was, what if I showed up? And so that's what I did. I just showed up and answered questions and did things, and then it just grew.
But what Andy said about actually building up your members is important because it's not you, it's them. That's important.
Right. And now the community, they do their own. They have all their own dialogues going on, all their own questions. I have, people, Yale steps in, but I have lots of people.
Do you have admins, other admins in your group or moderators?
Mostly I'm there though, like when he's not around.
I have self-appointed admin, people who have taken ownership of the group and manage and discipline.
So fantastic. Make them more than self-appointed. Yes. Go ahead and elevate them to a moderator in the group. Call them out, right? Give them that that position. They'll take ownership of it and just do even a greater job of that. I've bumped into that in a Facebook group that I monitor, and I was brought in to admin. And the more people you have, because those conversations go, and you can't watch them all. And sometimes someone wacky will come in and say something, and
we'll go in and like the best answer and say thank you, Melody. Yeah. Melody's amazing in our group, by the way. I don't know if you've met her. She's also in our experts group. Yeah. Yep. And thank you, Melody. And I don't do it often as much as I should. Sometimes Andrew does more of this. But thank you. That was a great answer. Thank you for helping so-and-so. So now the rest of the people know, yes, that is the right answer. It's not some random person that's just guessing.
I personally thanked the first 2,000 people that came into that group. Personally, wrote them things. Then they changed how they do it. Now they do it as a group on
It's
Facebook.
easier.
It's easier. And I thank every single person. I put a post and I acknowledge. And I had somebody earlier said, nobody in any group ever thanked me for joining that group. And I thank everybody who comes into that group. And it's amazing what that does.
I do want to say one thing. You heard the word gamification thrown around, right? What if you could do it inside a Facebook group? Okay, and I'll just leave you with that.
Oh, that's a tease.
Yes.
You're teasing us.
Yes, I am.
I see.
Gamification.
I have a client I'm actually testing some stuff with, but when it's and actually I was supposed to have a meeting with her. So Terry, I'm plugging you, okay? That's your thank you.
That's why he's late.
All right, that's why I'm late.
It's our fault. We're apologizing.
I'm doubling her the one-on-one time with me, so she's happy. She had a studio out of New York, and she said, Renee, I want what happened in my studio. Like there was that environment that happened. I can't recreate online. Training videos don't do it. All right, fine. I like a challenge, right? Let's do it in a group. So we're toying with some stuff. Andrew did some. If you're in his group, Andrew did a template inside a group about recognition. That's leading to that. So, okay, you're probably figuring out what's going on already.
So here's what we're going to do, though. I want you, because I think this is important. I thought about gamification with Nikki's stuff. When she talked about having a scorecard and that type of thing, I thought, well, you could see where you were on it, and you're like, hey, I need to do these things in order to, have the result I want. I even see that in vidIQ. Any people who use vidIQ for your YouTube videos for optimization, they've got the score, and to get to that score, you got to do these other things, and that lifts your score up.
Quora does it for ranking and all that stuff.
Explain gamification a little bit for everybody.
If you don't understand gamification, watch or do yourself, with the risk of actually being addicted, play Farmville or one of those games, and just study why you keep coming back. Okay, so that's what they mean. Why do games hook you? That's really gamification. If you could emulate some of that, and it's not easy because you're not selling a game, so you have to translate it. So is it why does recognition get you to come back? Why is an employee happy with recognition more than a raise, right? So exactly, so they want to stay. So if you can recreate that, it doesn't have to be on Facebook. Anywhere you're doing, then it's a big deal, right? So Facebook does not allow you to do a lot of stuff in the group, but we're gonna do it anyway.
Key to the graphic that Andrew made. Andrew.
Yeah. You're Andy's Andrew, right?
Andrew made in the Google Slides. For that, I did that right away without knowing what you were talking about. And I took a couple of my employees, a little badge, certified trainer, put their picture on it, and spoke a little paragraph on why I hired them and why they're great dog trainers, and put it on the Facebook page. They shared that with all of their groups and all their pages, and brought in more people liking it. They felt so good, and they go, thank you for doing that. They were so happy.
This much, Andy, of what you could do, and even that's enough.
And I see I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Yes,
kind of thing.
yes. That's a precursor to something else.
Renee, that
got me to do
fits
something
into the idea we
without
had here.
What?
The recognition fits into the idea that the business idea we laid out.
You guys
it's the same thing.
It fits the same.
It's the same thing. It's gamifying.
So as far as membership retention, I think that there are a lot of things that can be done there, and I think that if you watch the whole internet marketing thing over the last 10 years, you'll see there was a time when the push was all towards membership sites, right? It was all continuity programs. And then people went, wait, continuity programs, people are usually staying between 3 and 7 months statistically. And so then they go, why are we messing with that? So then they go, let's get all the money up front. And then even with Mike, you see that he's shifting to a continuity. But so Mike is going to be shifting to a kind of a hybrid continuity where you pay one fee up front and have access to all of his products with a monthly fee in Trail.
That's probably one of the best ways to do it.
So probably you cover all your expenses and make some profit in the first payment, and then everything in Trail is pure profit. But then the challenge is, and I guess at that point, one of the problems with continuity programs was always I could maybe get in the first month and get everything I needed out of it, and then kill my
reason
thing,
to stay.
Right?
And that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I think that's where gamification and just like delayed release of content, those types of things pay out.
Yeah, Andrew's going to that model, so the prices are going to go up.
Yeah, and I know Mark has a question here, but just also don't be afraid of charging. I mean, everybody has this fear that if I start charging my audience, they're going to go away. You're doing them a favor by charging them.
Yes.
It's going to put more pressure on you to provide good information and content and always stay relevant. For me, that's what I need. I need sometimes that extra push to go on and make sure they're paying. I got to be in there, right? And you
got to keep it fresh.
And then they'll pay attention if they're paying. And we've always heard that from day one.
I just wanted to throw out maybe a resource. I don't know. Do you guys know Robert Scrobb?
No.
Or Scrobe, I don't know how he pronounces it, but in any case, he's if you want, he's an expert, if you will, in the membership retention space.
Oh, nice.
And he's got great content. He does a really good job. I think it's SKROB, Robert Scrobb. I think it's .com even. But at any rate, just want to throw that out as a resource. He does a great job of communicating how to do exactly what we're talking about.
That's great. All right. I want to plus what Kendra said about authenticity. And Bruce, this is one of the reasons I think you've been so successful is you are very authentic and people get to know you on camera in your groups on a regular basis, and you create with them. And do you bring people on? Do you bring guests on to your?
I took your idea the other day, and I just did an interview with an author who just released his first book. I'm going to do more of those.
Yeah.
I've actually done some with Nabi. Nabi will come on my broadcast, and Nabi's just an interesting guy. We'll just go off on a tangent and we'll go right into the weeds, and we'll just start doing stuff. So
Nabi's a hero. He's supported so many of our live casts. I don't know how he does it. It is amazing.
Timing, he's just the right time zone because he's behind.
But I think the technology being what it is now, with tools like Zoom and Blue Jeans and stuff like that, there's literally no barrier to entry now to doing multi-person live casts and being able to interview people anywhere in the world. So I think using those to promote your membership group, but also using those to keep everything fresh in your membership group.
That's what I was just going to say is because we do weekly calls to all of the members, and so it's typically training with some Q&A, but once a month it's just featuring a client. And that's to our paid members to keep them, because you're reselling them, you're showing them the example of either where they want to be, somebody's just a little bit ahead of them. So, and they like that, they want to hear that because it's aspirational, and that's content for us, and yet all we're doing is featuring one of our own members.
Is it real estate?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Awesome. All right. So, and I know that there's a lot that could be gone into. Thank you for the resource, Scrob, right? Okay. Yeah, very good. Awesome.
I probably spelled it wrong.
All right. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, nothing. I just thought we were on one topic, and I think we about covered.
Unless you want to stay.
We may very well.
Call you back.
Let's see what we're going to do here. Well, actually, you know what? We're going to do list building. Come back.
Yeah. I'm going to get some water because I'm about ready to cough like a maniac.
So
my throat doesn't give out.
All right. So list building was brought up, and I think this is a pretty. This is a recurring question that it comes up over and over. How best to build a list? Now, I'm super glad you're here because you have some unique experience with building lists and the tools.
Okay.
I think 22 Social is one of the best list building tools I've seen around.
Okay.
And by the way, for those who don't use it, one of the great advantages I found with 22 Social was that when people opt in, you've put something behind a gate, which is basically you've just put a barrier between what they can get for free without doing anything and what they can get in response for an action, like opting in or paying money. So that's the gate, and it's just a button. It looks like a button, right? But when they click that, it automatically is opting them in by default utilizing their Facebook email address, right?
Correct.
So, which is the email address they perhaps have had the longest. It's probably the email address they never give out, or very rarely give out, and that by default is what shows up. By the way, what percentage of people change that? Like, because they have the option to change the email address.
It's small. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but it's small. Most people just go. They want to go through. They want to see that thing.
5%, 10%?
It's probably way below 15. Probably that change. They want to go through. They want that carrot.
Okay, so how many of you in building a list would appreciate the fact that 85% of the emails that you're given are their best email? Like, that's huge, I think. Not only that, but you do have access to some other information.
Yeah.
What is it?
Right. And we're doing very little with it next to what we can do with it and what we're going to do with it. Okay, so just hint there. If you knew where they were from, where they live, Facebook gives us a city. So if you knew where they were from, that might matter. That might be important. If you're running events, segmenting, right? So if you have an autoresponder that can handle that, we can definitely push that data through. If you knew their date of birth and you knew what's your name again? I'm sorry. Nikki. If you knew they were in their 50s versus their 70s, and you said, well, I'm not, okay, the 70s, I'm going to refer to somebody else. The 50s, I am, or I have different funnels, or I can trigger different emails, right? Date of birth is really, really important. If you want to send them something on their birthday.
And actually, you get their birth date. You get the
date of birth.
Day and year.
Yes, the whole thing.
I mean, you get the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, we needed Facebook approval for that, by the way.
Now, so you know where they live. You know their birthday. You know how old they are. And if you want to manually, you can go to their profile now.
Yes.
Right. And learn whatever other stuff is there.
If you're new, if it's a new funnel, you're gonna go, well, who's really liking this thing?
Yep.
So one of the things that people fail to do is they rely too much on systems. And I'm a systems guy, but no, the person's right there. Ask them. Reach out to them. Say, you know what? I know you opted in. I don't want to bug you, but I want to help you. I know you probably have a problem that I can solve. I'm not going to sell you anything. I just want to help you. Promise. And then start a conversation. And then they'll give out the goods. It wasn't that beautiful story you had perhaps that closed them, or you got to find out what really worked and you do more of that. Or what didn't like. You got to do that, especially if you're starting to figure out. And an A/B test isn't going to do that.
So what data can be moved into an autoresponder?
If the autoresponder will take it, all the data we collect.
So tell me. So
date of birth.
Is gender part of it?
We're starting to get less and less of that. Like, I don't know if people are blocking it, but that's not. But usually you can see it by seeing a picture. But date of birth, what city they're from. In the U.S., it's city and state. In other countries, it's usually the city and the country. So there's not a clear. It's tough to figure it out. Like, you'll get Chula Vista here in San Diego. I don't know if you're local or not.
Sort of.
Or Carlsbad. Yeah. You won't get San Diego necessarily. Okay. So it's not exact. But you get that. That can be pushed through.
Okay. And when I use 22 Social and I wanted it, I would use Zapier or a tool like that to move it into a CRM system, right? And is there, so that I could email them, right? Because 22 Social, you guys don't do any outbound email,
No, but we do
right?
direct integration with a lot of autoresponders, so you don't have to use Zapier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
There's a question on here about that.
Yep.
Oh, from the live?
Someone want to read it? Yep.
Yeah, so the integration, like we use MailChimp on ours, other people use other ones, but the person, Charmaine, is asking, when you get people's email with 22 Social, can you just assume that you have their permission to email them or put them on your list?
Yes, you can assume that. Yes, they actually opted in. They're giving permission for you to do that. They're opting in. So, good question. I want to cover something else real quick.
Go for it.
It's not just about the data you get. That's part of the story. Is how many touch points can you have afterwards? Can you get them in a group? Organic reach is high in a group. Can you retarget them on an ad? Right? Can you send them an email? Can you send them a Facebook chat message or messenger message? How many ways can you touch them? Okay, can you directly message their profile using them as a friend? So as many of those you can find. We've done some hacks. I mean, when I get on a project, it's a different story, right? But we've done some hacks where, in years back, I think it was a couple years back, we got Kickstarter projects in a matter of 2 weeks to go from nothing, no following, just a really good product, to 6,000 people in a group, and custom audiences, emails, excited, fired up, ready to go. So some of them we caught, very few, before they launched. Some of them we caught, okay, we got 15 days left in the campaign. We're not selling jack. What do we do? And then this is like 30-day like rush. Like it happens or it doesn't happen, right? So, which is beautiful because your brain has to work fast. You have no choice. But were a little bit of an ad budget because they had no following, no email whatsoever. Feeding them into sweepstakes and getting people to refer other people like themselves, connecting that to the group, connecting it to a custom audience, getting their email, and driving it all to the Kickstarter page. I mean, it was beautiful. And the best ones made more than 500,000. And that's really rare on Kickstarter. But we had a good product to begin with, right? A crappy one won't do that. But
so this is interesting. So the touch points is important because, for instance, you put in the ability with the chatbot, right? So people opt in, and now they'll get a chat. They can be messaged. You can go through Messenger with that. Yes, you can kick out to some other email program in order to deliver emails as well. And you mentioned retargeting. You mentioned ads. Can you pixel them in the process too?
Let me explain that, because what we're actually telling people to do now is go get 100 of your best leads. Like really, really scout out and see who's really fits my avatar. I got to run to 100. You know why?
Why?
Because at 100 in one country, Facebook would let you do a lookalike.
That's right.
And unless you're a targeting ninja, I don't care who you are, very few people can beat Facebook at it. Okay, the ones that do charge a lot. Though everybody else pretends that they're good and they're not. But you go to Facebook. In fact, in our app, if you install the Pixel, which if you don't know what a Pixel is, then this all makes sense. If not, don't worry about it.
Let me explain it real quick, just because some do, some don't. So Pixel is basically code that you're embedding in a page, right? That tells Facebook that this person came to your page, and then Facebook will use that.
Will flag them to run your ads to them. Right. And I think you could pixel the beginning of a funnel and the end of a funnel as well, right? Right, the whole chain actually.
Okay, the whole chain.
So you can pixel them when they get to the opt-in page. So you can pixel. They get flagged right there. We use events now.
Whether they opt in or not.
Exactly. So you could actually say, hey, whoever abandoned the cart, or that you can run a sequence to them. Once they opt in and actually get the freebie or buy the product, they're tagged again with a different event. So that could be added. That could be creating another list. So you can exclude that one from your first one. So, right? So, and then let's say that's a giveaway. So it's your 10 steps to how to do whatever. And then you have an upsell, your actual product or your membership. And they buy that. They get flagged again on the opt-in page for that and on the confirmation page for that. So you can have sequences for all of them. So the ideal is create your product, right? Your offer, membership, course, or whatever you're selling. And, God, losing my voice, that's not good.
You want some water?
Yeah, please. And then you can flag them when they see the about sales page. That'll create one list. And that's probably the best ones to retarget, because maybe they were busy. Doesn't mean they don't like your stuff. That's why Amazon
They liked your stuff enough to come.
Right,
to
exactly.
come visit the first time, right?
And maybe you send them something else. And then they get flagged again when they actually buy, because you might have an upsell, so that continues. And then I'm going to track back. Then you have your lead magnet or your attraction or lead capture part of it, which could be a baby version of the product or 10 steps to whatever. And they see the opt-in page for that. They may abandon at that point, so that could be a sequence. And that's actually added as an event on your ads account automatically just by placing the pixel in the 20 social app. The event will show up. And just like you can say, I want people who have visited this page. I want people who were triggered with this event. That's what Facebook calls it, an event. It's a programming term, actually. Yeah. And you can say in the last 7 days and up to 180 days. Yeah. So you may actually want to throw all your money on the last 7 days because it's fresh, right? So you could actually funnel one kind of ad to people who've entered the opt-in page and said, I'm busy, not right now. And then they actually get the lead magnet, and that's a hotter lead, right? You can actually track another ad set to that group. And then they actually look at the opt-in page or sales page for your product. That could be another list. And then they buy. That's another list because you have higher end products, right?
That's right.
So the whole chain could actually be programmed in Facebook ads by creating audiences. You can say this audience 1, audience 2, audience 3, audience 4. And then you can program the ads from there, and I'm not going to get into that. But.
Yeah, and then the whole lookalike audience is telling Facebook to create an audience
I love that.
from that audience, right? Find an audience that looks like them. And that historically has been one of the most powerful things for Facebook ads, right?
So think about it. You're going to tell Facebook, find me more people like this 100 people. what 100 people do you want to clone? So that opt-in funnel better filter out what you don't want and filter in who you do want. You have to have clarity on that. And then you run and get 100. And if you be organic, do all that stuff, identify them, make sure it's the right 100 people, and then go back to Facebook, create the first audience, it's 100 people, and say, Facebook, I want more of these. And Facebook does its magic. They have more data than what we give them, by the way. I don't know if you know that. They buy data.
In addition to what they're already gathering from us.
You know your phone number is so powerful. You know the reason we do double opt-in security? Yeah, security, sure. Excuse me. Whoops. I almost got in trouble with that.
That's a loaded statement.
But it's to match you to other data that they buy. Your phone number is such an identifier.
Oh my God.
So they know where you live, down to the zip code, even if you never give you the address. They know what you buy. I mean, they know so much about you. So when you see interest, how the hell do they know I'm interested in it? That's how they know.
Because they saw what I bought on Amazon.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. And they're pixeling people all over the place. They're collecting so much data. It's like the stuff that you're afraid of, that's not even 10% of what they're collecting. I mean, or what they have access to, because they're matching you. There's companies that have been collecting data for decades, and they buy that in bulk and match it to their users. So their platform, the big deal about Facebook, among everything else, it's the most targeted. That's why I used to salivate over 10 years ago. My God, we can actually target you and define you and say, I want this person to see an ad.
Demographic, psychographic.
Like insane. And it's going to get more and more. It's not going to be less. It's going to get to the point where I'm grateful when I see an ad, because I actually click and say, I don't like this ad, I do like this ad. Because guess what? Facebook feeds me what I want. Oh, I didn't know this company existed.
And it doesn't bug you
that
you're giving them more information by saying I like or don't like?
No, I'm grateful.
You're like, if I'm going to see some ads, it might
as well be something I want. Exactly. I'm grateful
that.
when I see the ad. And people who see your ad should be grateful if you're targeting correctly.
Renee,
I'm going to get off that horse. But.
That's okay. There was a time, and I don't know if this is still true, where you could upload a custom audience.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
To Facebook. Like if you had a list of email addresses that you're already marketing to, they've opted in, and you could upload that. And you can you still do that?
Yes, correct.
So you don't have to necessarily create 100 users in a group or likes to a page or whatever. It could be 100 emails that you already have.
I don't know if they're tracking, if they're letting you upload phone numbers, but I think emails can go off of emails. There's a few things that can match with. I think phone numbers may be one of them. But yeah.
So there was one trick that I remember hearing. I think it was Victoria said it, and I've always been tempted to try it, and I want one of you guys to try it. Not
Please,
me.
and report.
Not me. Not on my ad account. And that is Facebook ads targeted to one person.
Oh, they've tried that.
Okay.
There's tricks around that. You have to really get around that.
Okay.
So some guy was telling, I forgot who said that he wanted his wife to feel special on their anniversary, so you ran an ad campaign to her. And he was the only one getting them. But I think there's limits now. They have to be at least so many people. Like they really figured out.
I was wondering because
you can still get around it, but there's that limit.
So the way you would do it is you would upload a list of a custom audience has to be at least 100 people. You upload a list of 100 people, but 99 of them are men, and one is the woman, and then you tell them to run the ad to the woman. You know you tell it to run it to women in the list, but. I don't know. I just thought that was the coolest thing.
Here's what
you had a particular exec, and you wanted to make sure that that's what they were seeing your ads. They were the one person of that gender in the group.
Loomer, I think, is good with that. All those hacking.
Loomer?
Yeah. What's his first name? John? Yeah, he's good at hacking.
Everett, you know how you do that?
How?
You send him a book.
Yeah, I love it. Send them a book.
Yeah,
that's as a gift.
It is exactly right.
Yeah.
What's your?
You do both, right?
You guys promote contests as a way to generate traffic.
Yes.
So tell us how those work real briefly.
There's. I'm going to make sure there's no confusion. There's sweepstakes and there's contests, and you can do both. We can do one type of contest.
So explain the difference. What's the difference?
Sweepstakes, a lucky person wins, and there's a million ways to run that, and we got good when we were doing Kickstarters with that. A lucky person wins. If your friend wins, you win. We actually had a campaign where it was a celebrity, and teenage girls really liked the celebrity, and they weren't sharing it. They want to win. They don't want their friends to win. I was like, what? The formula broke.
Wrong, and you want them sharing it. Please
so we added, if your friend wins, you win, and that fixed the problem. Anyway, so you just got to know your audience, right? Anyway, so it's lucky winner. You could say, hey, I want to pick 3 winners. Here's the formula that's worked the best. 1 winner a week of a small price, create a story around it, and share it, so your content's taken care of. Okay, you pick the winner, and then you create a story around them. Especially if you can get a hold of them and they want to be a story, right? And you pick one big prize maybe once a month that everybody wants to win. That's worth clicking for. And you repeat that. Set it up in a way that makes sense. The only danger of that is if they think they're going to win, they're never going to buy. So you got to make sure that it's the right price so it doesn't hold them back from buying. Okay, so that's the thing. And then the spin on that is we have a leaders board. Okay, I'm going to have a lot. You can't make it too complicated, by the way. If they make it too complicated, they don't get it, they don't participate. Have 3 lucky winners, and the top 3 that refer the most. One campaign.
They get extra votes.
No. The person that refers a friend gets another entry, right? So that's normal raffle thing, right? It's not a contest yet, so they refer just to get another entry, right? So the viral magic starts to happen. Where it gets really, really fun, talked about gamification, is think about this. If you tell top 3 people who refer the most, get a prize, and they get the book and they get autographed, and I don't know, whatever. Make it big special that they're going to fight for it. And you're posting on a group, hey, here's like a horse race, right? Yeah, so, and then our platform shows the top 10. So you say the top 3. So you guys
have a leaderboard built in. And people get more entries for the more shares that they do, right? So I think we've all stumbled into these, and some of them are like, what can they do to get more votes in your system in an automated way? Is it just shares?
Just not shares.
Okay.
There's so many. Facebook changes their mind on that rule like every other day of the week. It's actual registration. If you share, you're not getting jack of an entry. Your friend has to register. And in the leaderboard, when you check the leaderboard, you're participating, you see who's actually opted in that you referred.
So you can see which of your friends actually did what you told them to do.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good.
So we don't track likes. We don't track any of that. We could, but we haven't bothered to because the rules around that changed so many times. So we said, we want a lead. Screw it. We're going to reward you for a freaking lead. Okay. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, I'm not kidding you, man. We've had people get 300 or 400 people they refer because they want that price, which brings to another point. It has to be really well filtered. Don't give away an iPad because everybody wants an iPad. So if someone opts in, if someone takes the 10 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever of time to click and say yes, I want in and blah blah blah, they'll do it if they want the prize. If you raffle off an iPad, they want an iPad. The world wants an iPad. They don't want
your content. They don't want to buy your product.
No, they're not filtered or qualified at all.
Got it.
So we've had campaigns where we get more leads, but they're not necessarily better leads because we made a mistake. We added an Apple Watch to one of them. It was a bottle that actually connected to your phone that also connected to the watch. They wanted the watch. Everybody wanted the watch, not the bottle.
Mark?
So I've done some campaigns where we've, I'll call it traditional lead building, where we took from Facebook and drove them to a landing page and captured information. The challenge we had was we got so much bot traffic, that was illegitimate crap that we stopped doing it because it was in fact, we had more bot traffic than real traffic, and the filtering it out just became a challenge. So, from the Facebook standpoint, I mean, what's your experience with that?
Luckily, Facebook doesn't hate bots, and Facebook's is doing us
except
a favor.
Their own,
except for their own, of course. Thank you. So they're killing accounts like crazy. Yeah. You may see if you bought leads. I mean, like who bought likes way back when or thought about it? Nobody. Good. I'm glad. Because
that's the only way I find friends. I have to buy
you buy
them.
A like?
That's why I got to know Andy. I bought him. Yeah, he was cheap though. He was like 10 cents.
Oh wow! You bought him bulk, right? A bunch of Andys, and you picked the best one.
Oh yeah, well, A1. Yeah,
A1. All right. Yeah. So Facebook, that's what I like about how we do it. I'm biased, I get it, but is that we're actually it's as close to a real person as possible. And yeah, somebody else can create an account, but Facebook's it's going to get deleted. So likelihood of that being permanent is very low. I'll tell a short little story. Someone in our group, who shall remain nameless, had a fake name on their profile. Because I don't know if she hated her name. I don't know if she was freaked out and didn't want the world to know who she really was. I don't know. But she had a lot of stuff attached to that profile, and Facebook said, give us an ID, or we're turning that away. So she could have gone to the courthouse and changed her name. But she didn't want people to find her. I think that's what it was. They shut down her account, and she refused to give her real name. They shut it down. They've had issues with the LGBTQ community as well for that reason, with names not being accurate. So it's a real freaking person, right? Wow. So, anyway, another question. I'm glad you said that because, that's what's happening a lot on the internet.
Right.
Well, a friend of mine is looking into how to eliminate that, but...
So just looking at the 22 Social thing, and it gives me some brand new ideas of some things to try, because you're capturing the information from Facebook.
Yes.
Whereas with this landing page that was off Facebook, we were able to track back that some of that wasn't coming through Facebook. Mm-hmm. It was outside of Facebook, something that was finding our landing page.
Right. You could put a Google Analytics code on 20 Social page as well.
So within Facebook, this might give us better results. So it's great.
Hey, hand the mic to Jen for a second. So Jen, you guys ran contests, raffles in Amazon, right?
Yeah, that's called an Amazon giveaway.
You still doing that?
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
we're still doing that.
Yeah. So what do you think? And is there are you using that as a way to sell books or to generate lists? Because it's hard to generate lists, right?
We were doing it, so they keep changing things. So at the beginning, you could have a couple different options for the giveaway. So one of the options about a month ago was for them to like your Twitter page. So we had 1,000, I think we got 1,100 Twitter followers from those giveaways. And we were giving away books, giving away journals or planners. And we still do giveaways today, but now they've changed it to either liking or following your Amazon page, your Amazon author page, which is still really good, but you can't track who they are, who those people are at all. Or you could get them to watch a video, which I still believe you can do. So you could go to a video, and they can watch that video to enter the giveaway.
Like they have to start watching it, finish watching it?
Yeah, I think there's guidelines on the video on what you can have.
So so that video could be you talking about about the product, or you talking about publishing or something. Mm-hmm. So the challenge that I think we've talked about this some on the call was this whole thing of who are you attracting, right? Who's entering in the giveaway? Someone who wants stuff for free, or someone that's going to buy your product?
Right, and I think that goes back to what you're offering for the giveaway. So if it is your book that has the content in it, and compared to just a blank journal, or compared to, you could go and give away anything on Amazon. You can go give away an iPad on Amazon. You can give away headphones. Anything you want, you can give away. You just have to pay for that plus shipping, right? So that's like he was saying, you don't want to give the iPad away because you're only going to attract people who want an iPad. You want to attract people who want what you have, which is your book that tells the content, or a free journal if we want them to buy more journals.
Can I add something to that? Probably there's an art form, I would say, to selecting what you give away when your product is information.
Yeah.
Because if I can't visualize myself winning that thing or using it, it's harder for me to want to win it.
Right.
And if you're not an authority, like if it's an interview with, I don't know, Elon Musk, I want to win it. But if you're not Elon Musk or somebody like that, then how do I quickly make the decision in my mind, I want to win that? If I can't make that happen, that's going to have a hard time. That's why having a physical product that really, really filters your list is important, because they can quickly visualize, I want to win that therapy thing or whatever, aromatherapy thing, and then you're doing wellness or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough to get it right. But that's what I recommend. Winning a book isn't going to get me excited because I don't know who you are yet.
Right.
Especially at the beginning of the funnel.
Right.
So that's, if you could find, and I always tell people to find something on Amazon, so if you're doing it on Amazon, then you're there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is make sure it filters. What I've also seen is, I've seen people do sweepstakes and they made the main thing the prize. Mm-hmm. And so people, what you're offering what again? Something else? Mm-hmm. No, the main thing has to be your product. And saying, by the way, just for opting in to get those top 3 things or top 10 ways to prepare before you buy a house or whatever it is, I'm also going to be entering a raffle to this. It's the footnote, okay?
Yeah.
Almost. Because otherwise they think, I'm just winning whatever price headphones, and I forgot that you offer something else.
Right. So doesn't it work really good for local companies? Like if they're a
Oh,
massage
local?
parlor or something, they can
Right.
give away a massage. It works really
Somebody
good for
in the
brick and
live
mortar,
said they
right?
were local because I think they heard stay away from local. And he's like, oh, no.
No, yeah.
We-
But-
No,
but it does
your
work really
caveat
good.
was stay away from local unless you really know local.
Yeah.
But
That
I
was
think
your
you're more
caveat.
on that. You were talking mostly about local ads, Google ads, Facebook.
No,
Is that
I
what
meant
you're
local,
talking about?
brick and mortar. is what I
Local
meant.
marketing in
Oh,
general.
local
Yeah, like a
marketing.
restaurant, a cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's where we tried to cut our teeth in marketing, and we just found it was commoditized, and nobody had any money.
Yeah.
Nobody had any money, and it was yeah.
Just a small subset.
But does your
yeah.
services work? 22
Yeah.
Social work good for massage and that different places like that, or not?
It actually works better if you could actually get the client to see it.
Yeah.
Because I'll give you Livy Webb? Yep. Okay, so she's the perfect example of that. She has, can you tell the story a little better than me probably?
Nope.
She has a restaurant, barbecue restaurant in, she's gonna kill me. Forget which state, Mississippi or Louisiana, she's gonna kill me. But anyway, she probably, she actually runs a sweepstakes, has a fan club, and her restaurant's more of a destination kind of place. It's not in a busy city. And she has people come in and pick up a cake. She doesn't even sell cakes. She'll bake a cake just for sweepstakes. While they're there, they always buy. So that's what you got around the, hey, I'm not giving away what they're going to buy because then they won't buy it. No, she's baking a cake. Just for that, once a week. Every week, it's a different cake. She likes baking cakes, so that's not a big deal. They come in to the restaurant. They always buy food because they probably feel guilty, right?
She gives them dessert.
Yeah, exactly. And she takes a picture with them. She uses it to promote the next thing. They're in the door. You know how hard it is to make that happen for a local business? They're through the door, right? And then she creates a story around it. Yep. So it's beautiful for local. So that's why it hurts when I say, hey, they don't have a budget, they don't have time. Yeah, but yeah, anyway.
So a couple of questions. You may have answered this already, but when you get people's email with 22 Social, can we assume we have their permission to add them to?
Yeah, that's answered already, yes. Pay attention, man.
Sorry. I was coughing up a lung.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then someone
Now I
was
feel
there
guilty.
training on adding pixels in their 22 Social app. Is there a training video?
Yeah, message our fan page and I'll send you a video link to that training that specifically goes through how to do that.
All right. And I think that was it. Anybody else see any questions and comments that I missed and didn't know got already answered?
No, we got some people watching. That's good.
Oh, we got lots of people watching. 400-something people watched your session. Just so you know.
Oh, wow.
At least a little bit over 400.
I have one final question. So just most of us here are single entrepreneurs, single people. Maybe we have a virtual assistant or something. Can you just
Your
talk?
wife might take exception.
That's right. my wife.
Meaning one person business.
One person business.
Solopreneur.
Yeah.
That's what she meant.
Solopreneur. We're a one-person business.
I said,
So
Louise is.
yeah, I know. Louise
I'm
is
calling
at the pool, and she said it's very nice. So we're one-person business. Maybe we have a virtual assistant, but we're basically on our own. Could you just talk a little bit? A lot of these things seem to involve teams. You just talk a little bit about
what things?
doing all the Facebook ads and coming up with a copy and figuring out all these things.
Everything we teach, from our perspective doing social, we teach it to some, thinking of the person that's doing everything themselves. That's why there's stuff we don't teach.
Okay.
Because if the single person can't do it, we won't teach it. So, but if you have a team, that's fine.
It's even better, but
it's easier for you, right?
Your focus is on the single.
Yeah, but I mean,
single person.
I've seen people, the Kickstarter projects we worked on, there were teams of 10, 15 people, and they all did a different thing. They just spent more time on that one thing, did it better. But I would recommend that you find someone that knows how to do that slice of thing you want to do, and you can find them in our group. That's how Jen found Jen, right? And make that happen. I don't recommend, unless you have a lot of time and not a lot of money, which I don't think that's your case, I recommend finding the expert that can do that one technical thing. And just hiring them to do that and get it through. And then you probably do it yourself after that, but you won't go through the learning curve. I hired a guy to build an extension. I can program a phone from scratch if I wanted to, but I hired a guy to build an extension because I didn't want to go through the learning curve of setting it up. Now I know how to do it if I want to. I can just copy his model and go, oh, now I could really get dangerous with it. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
Charmaine says it's Alabama.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Yeah, and you said it was Mississippi or Louisiana, so yeah,
it's close.
Hey, the food is here. So those of you that are watching, in 5, the food will be here in 5.
Food here will be.
So get your food ready so you can join us with the with your
Who said
pizzas. Charmaine.
Okay.
Miller Tanner.
Yeah, hopefully your person wasn't watching, so you're safe. We'll see.
She'll forgive me.
Yeah.
I'll just have to buy some barbecue and get it shipped over or something.
So I think let's do this. Let's close off this segment of the live cast.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I absolutely love this kind of discussion where it goes back and forth between everybody. It is. It's what it's all about, and it's totally my thing. I know Andy it thrives on it as well.
Yep. And we do this about every 2 weeks in a similar format, but we just do it over what are we using now? Zoom.
Yeah.
So we use Zoom now. All of us get together on a phone call. Not everybody joins us, but we do get a good number of people, and we kind of do the same thing. Just so you know.
So Renee, you're welcome to stay through lunch. We've got lunch for you
My phone doesn't even
as
work.
well.
What time is it?
It's 1:50. Better let you go. So everybody, give Renee a round of applause. Tell them thank you. We're really grateful that you were here. Thank you
for having me.
Oh man,
Not bad for a tech guy. You did pretty good.
Yeah, that's right.
For a nerd.
For a
That's
nerd.
right.
All right.
I love it.
I'll see
Thank
you
you
guys.
again.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
So for those out there, we'll be back on not too long. We don't want to take too long a lunch because our day has to end a little early.
At 4.
So yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has to go and catch planes and go do stuff.
So hopefully we're going to be done with lunch in about half an hour. Since
Really?
we're all eating here. We're not going anywhere, are we?
No.
You know,
We're all in here.
so-
That just seems like.
Yeah. So join us back here. If you're watching online, join us back here again. Maybe it might be just shy of 2 o'clock. Let's just call it that.
Hi, Miguel.
And,
nice to see you. Miguel just joined us.
Love it. So very good. All right. So that's
my phone just said he just joined us.
All right. So that's a wrap on this segment. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Bye. We'll see you in a little bit.